corpses of those unresurrected by Mercy.
Hex, everyone needs their conspiracy theories, and that just happens to be mine.
Well, maybe one day we'll figure it out. It does look like we want to run triple DPS here from FNRGFE, and they've got the players to do it. Louis is on a Roadhog, and so we're going to see the Hog. They're a little tank heavier, and they're actually going to run a Reinhardt too, so a little slower kind of composition for initiation for FaZe Clan.
FaZe historically has done really well with Roadhog Genji comps. You think back to the days when Too Easy was on the team, and if you're looking at Shadowburn, you got hooked by Too Easy, and vice versa. If you look at Too Easy, you down Shadowburn. Either way, though, Enigma finding his man in the back, getting Rockets down immediately, opening things pretty wide here for FNRGFE as they just push FaZe back with authority.
So FaZe is running this triple tank, and I just always feel terrible for the Reinhardt players in this composition. You have Enigma on Tracer, you got Buds on Genji, and you have to keep your shield faced towards Clockwork, who's on the 76, just pelting it down. It's difficult to play the Reinhardt in this situation. Factorfiction is a gifted tank player, but he's going to be taken down, and he's going to be the primary pulse bomb target too, because he's going to be an easy target to hit.
Enigma will be trying to feast off it as much as possible, but the upside is that when Earth Shatter is in play, it's a lot harder to deal with Earth Shatter, particularly in this stage where there's plenty of good ways to do it. Fight, though, is underway as Louis finding Boink early on. Bud striking right back, and it's back and forth here in this fight, but it's Enigma that's really just tearing things wide open, able to make the room here for FNRGFE.
It's getting to us. We're breaking. We are breaking from these nonsense letters. The name's funny, though. I mean, Monty explained it. It's the amalgamation of all of the other former teams. We're entering the ultimate phase of the game, which is where this tank composition can really start to shine if they get there. Graviton is actually built pretty slow for Spree so far. He's on the lower end of it, but Louis did get a hook in the last fight. You need to hook the flankers. Blades comes in.
Buds right now diving into this tightly packed room, grabs one early on, and fights Roadhog right in his face, right towards the back. And Roadhog doesn't really want to die here. Bud's like, all right, you know what? Fine. We already won the fight.
Fine.
I let you live so you can tell others of the fear.
Yeah, tell the tale of my Genji to horrify your teammates. But an absolutely one fight. Buds' Genji was going to be a question mark for me coming into this. He's looked very good, and I want some of whatever's in that. Seems to be a nice healing serum. Spree's still not close to the Graviton, and for someone who's a great Zarya, it's taken him quite a long time. Soundbarrier will start off the fight for both teams.
Soundbarriers on all ends, but a Nanoblade could be in the future. Here comes Shadowburn. The Blade is out. He's looking for targets right now. Clockwork, meanwhile, just on the flank, casually poking in, and does get Roadhog towards the end, but it's really back and forth between both teams here, taking place on the low and high ground at the same time. The important thing here for FNRGFE is that they still hold control of this point, so it's not going to last for long, but 99% to 0 Hex, a good position to be in where they only need one more to take this round.
Yeah, FaZe able to get that going, and now it's a good position when you have triple tank and you have the meat on the ground. Taking the point is not going to be your best bet, but keeping control of the point is very good. They're going to have Earth Shatter up, and they're going to have Louis' Whole Hog too, great position-changing ultimates.
So FaZe, they cannot falter here or the round will be lost. Factorfiction, this is a time where if he was going to bring out a great Earth Shatter, it'd be now, especially if Buds went in on the Dragon Blade. One of the better ways of dealing with Dragon Blade is knocking Genji to the ground, though admittedly harder post-patch. And FaZe just backing up, letting plenty of room come in here as Factorfiction can come back in and drop the hammer at any point. The hammer is dropped, and the follow-through is there. Clockwork is down immediately as FaZe now counter-engages right back in.
Yeah, Enigma just a little bit too late on the pulse bomb. He was trying to charge it up, and as we mentioned, Fact was going to be the target for that. He will fall, but the ults have been used correctly for FaZe to deny the retake on the next fight. Shadowburn getting close to a Dragon Blade. We might have dueling blades here as Buds has it too. You'd think FaZe should have that advantage as Rockus should be able to boost him. Although with how slow this grab's been building, you might just give it to Spree and hope you can get another grab out of this.
I just want to note that it's always warms my heart when a Genji says, I need healing, and we actually hear it. Not that a Genji has ever said that before, Hex.
Nope, first time I've heard that voice line.
Certainly. FaZe, though, in a good position here as they look to continue the hold. They are almost at the point where one more fight will win this. Enigma falls immediately off a good hook, and Shadowburn can have the dagger here. His Dragon Blade still in reserve. Buds with his blade in the back, not going to get much. Now we look at Shadowburn, also getting boxed out a bit. The Transcendence not being super kind to him. Both teams dancing around, looking to put this over the top. Faze slightly ahead, but you have the tech visor in as Clockwork goes to work. 2 kills for him, but it ends as Shadowburn takes his life.
Taking out Spree was really important there. Spree had just gotten up to the Graviton, which effectively could have put an end to this. Shadowburn looking for those dash resets as he gets some damage, and they're able to keep his life as they seem to try to dig him back. Bonnie is on the Sombra of all things. He's the support player, but just needs that extra invisibility speed to get to the point quickly enough. Should help them stall. Still 99 on both sides of things. FaZe Clan cleaning up the point.
FaZe Clan certainly working their way back into this game. It'd be a nice comeback to begin with, but Enigma back into town. Pulse Bomb comes in, removes Factor Fiction, and now FaZe stuck trying to reverse course in a very tough situation. They're down to 3 people actively on the point. A lot on Louis' shoulders here, but he's merely being overpowered and out-muscled. Joe Meister's going to fall. People have to sacrifice their bodies to try and get back into this, but that is a grim proposition. And FNRGFE holds on at the last.
Just burned a little bit too quick there. And you knew when Enigma was getting Pulse Bomb, you knew who exactly was going to stick on the back of. Like I said, Reinhardt in this matchup is so difficult. He got Pulse Bombed at least 2 times, maybe 3. I need to see a little bit more out of Spree. I'm actually surprised, because Spree, in my mind, is one of the best Zaryas, and it took him forever to get that grab, that first grab. Well, when you see players like Sinatra getting a grab 30 seconds into a fight, and then Spree has that low, that was rough.
It's also a different dynamic, though, for Spree compared to how LG Loyal used to play. And frankly, I think that talent-wise, Spree was almost forced to carry more of a load there. And you see the Zaryas where if their team is failing in other areas, you might see Zarya have a disproportionate performance.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's a different environment for Spree than what he used to have. So there's certainly some adjustment period. Either way, we are here in the village, and not a lot of time wasted as both teams engage over the top, but we have a fair in play as Buds takes to the sky.
Yeah, Buds on the Fair should be really interesting to watch. Of course, Bonnie has played Mercy before. He's a fine Mercy here. They're going to run Enigma on the D.Va as well to try to keep him covered and nice. And some really early kills come out. Louis is able to take down Muma, and some of this going back and forth. Now Buds is without the support he needs in the sky. Going to have to bail out of there. Uses the conk, not the best conk, but able to get away from the Zenyatta, who's pressuring him on the point. And was able to get the D.Va before the mech call down saves her.
From downtown, and that could swap things back in FNRGFE's favor. The respawns are coming back in, and now FaZe kind of in a tough position here. The engage comes in from Winston Tracer, and they get their man in Fact Fiction, but Louis pulling it right back. I'm not sure it's gonna be enough, though. You look at the presence on the point, and FNRGFE does get first control, and this will be a reset here for FaZe.
Oddly enough, the composition they should be running against this Pharmacy combo would be Factor Fiction on the Reinhardt, and you just run a bunch of tanks. You roll onto the point, and then you nullify the fair. There's a roof. You can hide under the roof.
Buds is just feathering these rockets in, just
nice.
Delicate from downtown. It's beauty right now. I am thoroughly enjoying Buds' point of view, and Hex, he could be making it rain. There is a weather report right now, and it's 50% chance of rockets with an extreme case of death. Buds, are you going to make this forecast true? We're keeping an eye on him, and
they might not need it. I think you only use it if you are forced to use Sound Barrier, because that way Buds at least lives. And you don't want to just give up Buds' life for free. Now without the damage he is doing. Louis has actually been the only one getting a lot of work done. Is able to take down Clockwork. He got a Pulse Bomb off before that. Nice tempo res will bring him back.
The res comes back in, and FNRGFE, they expend their support ultimates for a severe advantage here on this fight. And though FaZe is desperately fighting to bring this back, this does not appear to be winning, and I do somewhat question this Transcendence. Yeah. Maybe it works out, but they're already down people. They're getting outflanked on all sides. Didn't really seem like the best maneuver from Rockets there.
It's one of those situations where they did not know the fight was over, and it has been. You find yourself in these situations on control maps a lot of the time thinking if we can just get one more kill or something like that, it's fine. But the fight was effectively over for the last 30 seconds. They just kept just feeding lives into it. Now Louis finds himself in a very odd position between 2 tanks. Will give his life late for it.
Well, the rocket showers didn't quite happen last fight, but it is appearing more likely for this next fight, because if Buds is able to land the barrage here, that is going to be very good for FNRGFE taking this in the end, and now he's coming in over the top. Will the barrage land? Still waiting, measuring. Faze has no choice but to get on the point here as Buds is just stalking them, and there it is. Finally, the barrage comes in, and he uses it to dispatch Joe Meister.
You can use it in that situation as long as your Mercy stays alive, because you know even if you die, you will get resurrected. This res should be coming in momentarily. They need Muma and Clockwork back, and they will bring them back. A nice res from Banny. Has used them perfectly as tempo reses so far.
Well, they might be brought back up. Shadowburn is looking to bring them back down, but not going to work. The Dragon Blade does not quite make its mark, and guess what? Buds is still back in this fight, off of the res. Plenty of time. The poke rockets in, though. It's more difficult for Fair at this point. It's still being effective as FNRGFE, powered by Clockwork on the ground, pulling this one back in overtime. Although, they do lose control of the point for a split second.
They have finally lost control of the point, but Buds will rejoin the fight. And now the tank's being evicted. It looks like the flip will come back. There's desperation time, as you see. The Transcendence comes in. Here comes the Genji as well, trying to get some kills going through here, but FNRGFE has gotten a couple of their own.
Again, this is Faze just fishing for a miracle. Louis desperately trying to build up Pulse Bomb. He got the Pulse Bomb up in time. Maybe he blows up 2 or 3 people in the most optimal of circumstances, but it's not easy as Muma booping and bopping people around with that Primal Rage. The kill feed fills up with blue, and FNRGFE, they dispatch Louis, and this should be them taking this point, and 1 round away from evening up the series, 1-1.
Yep, Barrage at the end there will grab a couple, and Clockwork had some really nice clutch performances. We know how good of a Tracer player he can be. His forte back in his old days in another game was on control kind of maps like this, and he shows exactly why. A mechanically gifted person. Both of these teams with these new rosters just ooze of potential. We know what these players can do if they can just put it together. These tempo reses were great, by the way. Banny used Resurrection perfectly in this game.
There were good resurrections where you don't need to go for the huge give me play the game 5 res.
Yeah.
If you know you've already taken down a few people in the fight and resing 2 of your own will give you the advantage of pull it right over, that's the time to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Bring those people back up.
In fact, I would say that a 5-man res is usually bad. It means the 5 people have already died, so that this is not a great fight to begin with. But then they're all brought up in rough position. I think that the 2-man tempo res is perfect.
Certainly working out for FNRGFE here, 1 round away from evening up the series. And very differing positions here as FNRGFE, they're going for the sneaky flank. They're not going for this high ground fight in the traditional way at all. We'll see if it pans out. They are split, which increases the odds that someone gets focused down early, but Faze has to worry about threats from multiple angles here right now as Faze is just holding together for dear life.
A lot of charge on that gun for Spree as well as he looks to go to town. He's just going to 1v3 into the middle of this. With 100% charge, he can probably do it. Does so much damage. The Muma goes down. This is the Spree that we know and love as he's getting very aggressive onto the point. FaZe Clan with the people there, they need to close out this fight, but some delay coming from FNRGFE, but it should be FaZe's eventually.
It's a little bit scary to invest so much on the delay here because if you fail on the delay, you're going to be supercharging FaZe for ultimates, going for it into this round.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Sanctum is one of the best places to really maintain your advantage. It's difficult to crack back in. I'm not a huge fan of this delay coming in from FNRGFE because FaZe is feasting off of everything they're throwing in here. It's not good.
It bought him 20%. I mean, they got the early cap.
Okay,
so, I mean,
they did get the early cap. So
if they hadn't capped, I completely agree. But they snuck in an early cap somewhere in there.
Yeah, the early cap, because they got that, I stand corrected.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now looking at it in that context. So it actually worked out really well. They delayed for about 20 seconds.
Yeah, so
this is where Zarya can be deadly, though. Entering through this door, they're going to have to walk right into a graviton. When the tanks get at their full power mode, they can hold this far forward, which is why this composition has always been somewhat popular on this stage in particular.
So Spree holding on to the graviton, throws it right in. Gonna pick up 1 immediately in Shadowburn. There for the cleanup. It's a 1-man graviton, but hey, still gives them the advantage in this fight. Muma and Clockwork, though, equalize immediately as you see FNRGFE coming back in. Clockwork holding the Attack Visor in reserve if it's needed to finish this out, which might not be here. That said, Spree, nano boosted, fully charged up. This is how you build gravitons in a hurry, and Clockwork says enough of this. Attack Visor is coming out, but Reinhardt's shield not really giving him a whole lot of targets here. The Attack Visor falling on deaf ears. However, this is a party room. Bud's doing it, and he gets slept! Woken up, but not going to get quite what he's looking for. The Transcendence ruining his day as Shadowburn brings out the counter Dragon Blade to pull it right back.
All these tanks on the point, it's very difficult to get anything done. Vector Fiction's been holding on to this Earth Shatter for a while, and he's not had to use it. He hasn't even been threatened yet. Odd where It was an odd way that FNRGFE was throwing some ultimates into that. I did not love the tack visor from across the side when the shield was at decent health. You're not going to get much. Factor Fiction been sitting there. It's not like it surprised him. So the tank play really working for FaZe Clan, and Spree's had a much better game. I love giving Zarius the boost, by the way. I think it's such a smart use of the ult.
Graviton is the most impactful ultimate in the game. The stats back it up. And FNRGFE. Last attempt here to flip this back at Enigma. It's a beautiful pulse bomb. 2 early kills here from FNRGFE. They cash in the reserve and come up big. They're gonna have to hold for the rest of the map here now, though, so not a lot of room for error.
Yeah, a nice ult and good target selection too, because it took Factor Fiction's ability to Earthshatter out of the fight as he was out of the fight. I think Louis must have pressed his ult. I didn't see much really happening from that. FaZe has all the tools in the kit they need to take this back, though.
Spree is who you pay attention to here. Spree can land a Graviton, not get deflected. Factor Fiction will be right there a fall through. So this is really dangerous for FNRGFE. I do think they're spreading out in the way that they need to here, as they're going for the room approach here, FaZe. You don't see this approach as often, but it works out. And the Graviton connects. 3 people going to get awfully close with each other, and the follow through is immediately there. 2 kills resulting from that Graviton, and FaZe able to get a decent presence on the point, but they're still getting flanked from all sides. FNRGFE still has to stay on the point, but they're pulling this one back.
Do not use the Earthshatter. You do not necessarily need it right now. No, okay, Factor Fiction will die with it. I thought that fight had already been over for them, so that's why I didn't want to see the Earthshatter come out. They still have a couple alive in there, but they need to either die or get off the points, and they're kind of just toying with them. Yep, they're just going to let them stagger on the reset. FaZe still in a decent enough position, though. After the grab is used, Spree's actually just going to come in and switch to a Diva.
If you think about vintage Shadowburn, there were times where you had enormous hero moments on Genji. I feel like this is the time to have that moment where you're going up against Genji that also has Dragon Blade. But if Shadowburn can find a way through and take this here, FaZe can stay alive in this map. So I'm really curious to see how Shadowburn ends up doing this. Soundbearer comes up, but he doesn't get it. The Soundbearer does not connect on Shadowburn. He's vulnerable. Still, though, finds Buds, takes him down, and gets Bandy for reserve. So he didn't even need to hear those beats to do the damage that was needed to be done.
Yeah, he does not even need it. Gets the kills that he needs. Your Shatter will come in very late. I don't think it grabbed a whole lot, but Factor Fiction was tired of seeing that check mark on his screen. Anti-heal comes up on Uma. The reason that earlier grab was also so great is, let's give Raucus a little bit of credit. Nice anti-heal. They were able to clean up those up. He's looking for the gold.
Tracer is going in after him.
They're friends. You don't let your friend go treasure hunting alone.
I love the ragdolls in this game.
Oh, it's wonderful. It was probably the best part of last time we were in Denver, that video of the ragdolls.
So a bit of a pause there. Not quite sure what's going on. But, wow, FNRGFE certainly coming out rather strongly here so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my one big question for them, because they've obviously been doing a really good job here, is just around their ult management. And it could be just a product of the end of the day, because we saw it last match a little bit. It seems to be getting worse. Is this an issue that we're expecting to see throughout the group stage for this team, or is it more of a product of just the long day?
I think it's probably a couple things. You know, fatigue, we're all human. It's going to factor into it. But also, these are newish rosters. These teams don't necessarily know. And so sometimes you won't use an ult because you're expecting someone else to use it, and then you feel like you had a good moment to use it. But you're right. I mean, FNRG, especially a couple times where they'd lost 2 or 3 players and then using an ult in an unideal position. But I think as you give these teams time to come together, you'll see that go away a little bit.
Well, fatigue aside, I would just point to the more obvious part here, where these are rosters that have not really played with each other that long. You need good experience with your team to know when other teammates are going to ult and realize what's going on here. So, I mean, ult management is always going to be tougher on teams that are newer, which realistically both of these teams are in many respects.
Absolutely. They've got all the pieces, and that's why they've made it so far into this tournament already, fighting for seeding right now. Onto the point, though, already Buds gets a reset, decides that the other team shouldn't have any healers.
Both supports down. That is about as fight-winning as it gets. It's incredibly difficult to bring back a fight when a Genji just slides his way into your backline in a way that you absolutely do not want.
Out of those DMs, Genji. Gets in there really quickly, and you're right. When you lose 2 healers right away, that fight's over. That damage is permanent, and to get the target selection that he did there was great. I mean, Yeah, it's really frustrating playing Genji with the other teams getting healed, so why not just eliminate the source of the problem?
Hey, Soldier has a healing station. Doesn't that count?
A Soldier has never dropped one to heal someone else other than himself. He's a selfish person, at least in my ladder games.
Yeah, that does jive with many person's experience playing Soldier. But in any case, Faze looking for a way back in here once more. Shadowburn no longer on a Genji, on a Tracer for this map. And Pulse Bomb comes out, does not connect, and again, FNRGFE just counter-engaging, getting kills they need here early on, and just really outflanking Faze. Faze came in from an awkward angle on the side, and FNRGFE, they were ready for them.
Yeah, this has not even been close, and it's just whichever hero decides to pick it up for that particular fight. They lost the Genji early, so Clockwork said, well, I've got a weapon as well, able to get a couple of kills, and very nice for them. Faze Clan trying to find their way in here. Maybe they could use a sound barrier for the next fight. They got to find something, but really they just need to not lose 3 people immediately, which is what happened in the last 2 fights.
Well, next fight is underway, and Clockwork still showing no mercy. Finding Clockwork early on. Muma diving to the back, looking to disrupt and just let FNRGFE dive even deeper. And Clockwork, he's been having an enormous game here so far. Plenty of space being made for him by the tanks. Buds has been such a threat that you can't even go back on Clockwork. And Clockwork just sitting back going, wow, look at all these targets I have to shoot. This is great.
It's a great feeling as a soldier when you're just not even taking damage. The healers can take the day off, and you're just doing whatever you want back there. They're going to have to find some way to get to him. I mean, Shadowburn's Tracer's got a kill last time, but he needs to be in the back pressuring them. He needs to pressure them enough so Clockwork has to go defend his supports.
Soundbear's coming in from FNRGFE, but not quite enough to defend them early on. Faze diving in heavily off of this engage. They still have the Pulse Bomb in reserve. Shadowburn darting around, looking for the recipient of that special package, but they might not even need it. The attack visor is used, and Faze expending a lot to retake this here, but they had no choice. 99% to 4, and Faze now once more in a situation of no buffer zone.
Yeah, use them if you got them. You have to use your ultimates. There's no reason to take them with you towards the end of that fight. So nice for them. They will have at least a stall out too, as Factor Fiction is going to be able to pop Primal Rage, which should buy them at least another 5 to 10 seconds or percentage on the point. Bud's nearing the Dragon Blade, could bring this fight right back. He opened up the fight in a glorious way.
I don't think FNRGFE really needs to do much here aside from pull out a few ultimates. Again, Factor Fiction use Primal Rage. That's going to be enough because they themselves don't have a lot of tools here. It'd be tough if they just threw ultimates in without getting an early pick. But they're still poking around. They're looking for an opportunity. They're building their war chest, if nothing else. And Shadowburn diving in and around. This hasn't been the greatest engage from FNRGFE, and of course, with down Muma. So I would expect them to probably get pushed out here. However, look at Faze. They're getting poked down heavily, so they still have to be careful not to give any kills up and open the door for FNRGFE to somehow pull this fight back.
They're getting low, but I think this is the correct choice for FNRGFE, is just to pull back, wait. You know that, as you mentioned, they are stocking up their armory here to be able to go in for one more fight at 99%. They got a couple shots at it. So I think the disengage could have been much cleaner. They didn't need to get caught there on the retreat, but they're setting up for one final fight, and nearly everyone on that team is going to have the ultimate ability available to them.
They do, but they're also going against double support ultimates in the second year from Faze, so it's not necessarily clean. They lose Buds immediately. Nothing good coming out of his Dragon Blade, and Faze seizing the opportunity to bring this back. 5 versus 5. Both teams still with options here. Both teams draining their ult supply. Boy, very close to getting a sound barrier. If he can get this up right now, he can barrier and turn this fight. The barrier's up, and they are breaking it down. Finally, he hits the ground, but it's over too late to save Enigma. That small delay might be enough. It's still a good position for FNRGFE, though, as they sit on the point, and they look to bring this pack as Clockwork finally breaks through.
Yeah, Clockwork able to get a couple of really nice kills there as Shadowburn goes down as the Tracer. Beautiful. He looks rocket. Here comes that delay I was mentioning from Factor Fiction, but maybe a little bit too late. He's going to be focused down as Bonnie back in this fight, very likely going to discard any remaining targets. So hard to try to take this back. Here comes the Transcend as well. Clockwork continues to do work.
Clockwork certainly playing this well. They have flipped the point, but they have not won here just yet. Faze with options.
Another visor! Another visor! He just had one!
Don't tell Clockwork that. He bought the enhanced visor plan.
Is that DLC?
No.
Well, the optics on Clockwork worked out very well there as he started that fight with a visor, worked his way up to another one. Great for him. And I gotta say, Buds have been pretty impressive, you know? Former Reaper main of Reaper fame, but his Genji's been good. His Pharah looked really nice too, putting in a lot of work on these projectile heroes.
Buds has had to be adaptive, to say the least.
Yeah.
And a lot of players that have been around Overwatch for a long time have had to be, because the reality is that even if you are incredibly good at your chosen position, if your team dies, if your team reorganizes and you have to look for a new team, sometimes another team might not be looking for hit scan DPS like Buds used to specialize in at points. They might be looking